Energy. What is energy? Energy is a hard thing to define, but all the objects below have some kind of energy, even though we can't define it. And you'll see different charts on different websites and different books, but we're just showing this as an illustration. All right, you have a frog leaping, cars moving, ice cream melts, and we'll go all around the circle here. There's food, energy. There's nuclear fusion, which happens in the sun and in stars, nuclear fission, all kinds of different things, which is kind of funny because we can't exactly define it. However, in this course, we're only going to worry about two types of energy. However, we're going to define it for this presentation as kinetic energy is associated with motion. This includes mechanical energy, the motion of objects like a car or a ball or a frog, a jumping frog. Electrical energy, the motion of charges. Thermal energy, the motion of particles and matter. Bet you never thought of that. When something's getting very hot, like you warm up your milk, you've got a lot of particles moving faster than they would when it's cold. So we can classify that as kinetic energy. Radiant energy, the movement of light. Sound energy, the motion of air particles. In this unit, we're going to go with mechanical energy with the jumping frogs. And a nice way to summarize it here, you can't go wrong with this definition. Kinetic energy, the energy of a moving object. And here's the other major energy classification that we will use. Potential energy. That's the energy that is stored due to the interaction, that is, forces between objects. It includes chemical energy. It's where you store energy in atomic and molecular bonds, and when you break those bonds, you release the energy. Nuclear bonds of the nucleus. Gravitational, we'll be focusing a lot on this one. Storage of energy due to gravity. And also we're going to be talking about elastic energy, storage of energy in a stretched or compressed spring. Then you have electrical and magnetic combined electromagnetic energy stored in electric and magnetic fields, and we'll talk about that in the next unit on mobile phones. In this unit, we will focus on gravitational potential energy. And gravitational potential energy is the energy stored in an object because of its position relative to the ground. So let's say you're climbing up a little step ladder here. You go from this step over to this step. Not sure that even looks like a step ladder. Here's the ground down here. We can say you have a gravitational potential energy because you are higher than the ground here. Total mechanical energy. Much of high school physics and middle school focuses on the movement of physical objects, baseballs, cars, springs, and bicycles. To solve those motion problems, we'll call them our system. We're allowed to organize types of energy to fit our system. Physics is very flexible that way. We will define total mechanical energy, will include the three types of energy that will help us analyze the system. They include kinetic energy, potential energy, and we're only going to work with gravitational potential energy. We should also include elastic potential energy and mechanical energy, but we're not going to cover it in this course. We'll do that a little later on. So here's our two energies that we're going to be working with. Energy can be changed from one form to another. For example, thermal energy to mechanical energy. How would that work? Well, let's say you boiled some water, turned the water into steam, and had steam hit a pinwheel, which is a circular device that has a bunch of little plastic pieces on the outside. The steam will push those little pieces and spin your pinwheel. So you now have mechanical energy, you actually have kinetic energy there. Please go back a few slides and see what other types of energy you know that can change into another one. You can use the step stool example. If you were to step off the step stool, you would start moving. You would now have kinetic energy. So the energy you stored up by climbing to your top of your step stool, you now turn into kinetic energy. Here's a cool thing about energy. Even though I've been kind of vague, we really can't define it perfectly. We can do calculations about it. We can say how much we have and how much can change into another type of energy.